Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education for the School District of the City of Harper Woods. Today's date is February 25, 2014. The time is about 7:05. If everyone could please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And it appears that all members are present. We don't have an amendment, do we?
Sir?
No? Okay. We've got an agenda. It's in our packet. We need a motion to accept that agenda.
Motion?
We have support?
Support?
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving that agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. The agenda is approved, 7-0. First item on that agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which includes minutes from previous meetings of January 21, January 28, and February 4, all of this year. The expenditure reports for the month of January of 2014. It includes overnight travel for Mr. James Dennis to go to the MASBO conference. Overnight travel for Monica Lenhard and Dan Wayberg to the 2014 MACUL conference. And then the next item is overnight travel for Dave Rabideau, Silas Williams, Juliana Simpson, James Murphy, June Tyson, Brenda Ban, Andre Hudson, and Andrew Hopkins for that same conference. And the reason it's broken out that way is the funding source for the individuals are different. Fortunately, the short list is paid for by the district through general fund. The long list is paid for through the grants. And last, we have overnight travel for Mr. Mooney, Michael Mooney, and Lashana Beeman, and 9 high school DECA students who I believe we're going to be meeting, at least some of them, later in the meeting. We have retirement of Linda Beers, a Follow That Kid paraprofessional at the middle school, and recommendations for hire for Reginald Blackwell as the girls varsity basketball assistant coach at the high school, Daryl Curitan, the varsity boys assistant coach at the high school, and for which sport is that? Basketball?
Yes.
And Lawrence Carter, JV boys head coach at the high school, and I think that's also for basketball.
It is.
That's it for the consent agenda. Do any members wish to have any matters removed from that agenda to put on the general agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. The measure passes, is approved 6-0. Next item is correspondence. Mr. Secretary?
We've received a few correspondence that have been forwarded to the board.
Okay. I noticed that we did get a correspondence from Mrs. Purnell. She was trapped in some
Oh, yes.
Eastern Bloc country, I think.
Glad to see you've made it back safely. Hopefully people send you enough money to get home. And a new
No, not
passport
one
and everything else.
Did you recover your passport?
Yes, yes, I'm fine. Ron.
I think you was hacked, as they say.
Yes.
Twice.
Twice? Okay, in case anybody's wondering, she wasn't really there. The next up on the agenda are the district activities. We'll begin with Beacon Elementary. I have a feeling that Mrs. Van is going to pinch hit.
She is.
Good evening. I'm going, sorry, I'm having phone issues now. It just turned on me. All right, Mrs. Gottlieb sent me her report, so I'm just going to read it exactly what it says. It says, not a lot to report this month. Teachers and students are finding amazing ways to continuously use the iPad. Front Row is an online math site that allows students to work on their skills based on their skill level. Reports out to teachers, and it then reports out to teachers and parents grade level equivalents and much more. It's being piloted currently with their high-level students in the first grade. 2 of the kindergarten teachers volunteered to receive training in the upcoming, I think this is right, Kindergarten Readiness Assessment to be given in the fall. This will allow teachers deeper understanding of each early learner within their classroom, as well as provide parents with specific areas to be worked on at home. It's a future state mandate, so again, Beacon is ahead of the curve. African storyteller Dr. Ivory Williams performed for February Black History Month at Beacon. He did a great job and the kids loved it. And by the way, that wasn't 2 teachers, it was just number 2. So kindergarten teachers, I think all of them are going. PD for teachers included reviewing several areas of data. We're committed to using the data-driven dialogue being studied at DSE, asking a lot of questions as we study our students' results. We began planning for staff summer professional development as well as student summer school. Reminder, Kindergarten Roundup is next week. Packets can be picked up at Beacon. Information will be provided about kindergarten orientation and parental visitation to our K classrooms this spring. Our first Early Childhood Roundup Day is next Thursday from 8 to 3. Call Beacon office for the appointment. This is for our 3 to 5-year-old population. Children will be assessed in 5 areas. Results will be provided to parents in regards to areas they can work on at home. This will determine eligibility for our preschool program in the fall. Free readiness kits will be given to all participating students. Any questions?
Oh, yeah.
And if we
Wait till
have
she
them,
gets back.
Next Thursday, I think, is
The 6th.
the 6th, March the 6th.
Yes, it is. Oh, maybe that's why there's a 6 there. I thought it was number 6.
There's nothing in that report that even hints at, because they've had continued success with the iPads, that they would like to fill out the distribution of iPads.
I'm sure there was, she probably just
You must have missed that, right?
missed that part. It's
Okay.
probably number 5.5.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank
Good.
you.
All right. Should I just stay
Well,
up here?
since you're there.
Okay, I will present Tyrone's, whatever I'm presenting. I can't even think of my own now. Okay.
That's your school.
Yes, this is my school. Okay. We have started, parents are coming in for students who are concerned to make sure that they're going to begin making a little more progress in their academics than they have the first half of the year. We have been meeting with parents. We have provided them with training on MyStar, training on Study Island, so parents can look up their child's grades, can show them how to use Study Island. We've talked to them about truancy, if the child had a truancy issue, all kinds of things, and we're getting pretty good response from parents. We're going to monitor these kids and see if this helps their next set of grades. But I have to say that I worked pretty closely with Mr. Clement, and he's pretty tenacious about not letting parents say, well, I really can't make it in. He's really being flexible, and they come in and they're meeting with him, and they stop by and meet with me, and we've given them as many tools as we can to help their child be successful this school year. So that's currently going on, and like I said, a lot of parents have been very thankful. It's interesting how many say to me, a newsletter? What's a Tyrone newsletter? And I just about die because I do them every Friday. So we go through all the different ways. I help them show on Facebook because I post the newsletters on that. And hopefully, like I said, we'll monitor these students to see if it helps their grades. Our 6th grade class is doing their wax museum on the 26th this week, which is when, is that tomorrow? Tomorrow. Wow, 26 already. At 1:30, all of the students it's a 3-week project where they spend time researching somebody for the Black History Month, and they dress up and they find facts and they make a poster board and they go into the gym and they take on that persona of that person, and students and parents are welcome to come in. All the classrooms will go through the gym gym. They stop at the different ones, they can ask questions, and the students present their project. Some of them did present at the district Black History Month program, and I got a phone call today, and the parent still was crying. She was so excited because her son didn't want to do it, and he got up there and he did an absolutely unbelievable job. So if you board members, you're more than welcome to come by tomorrow. It's 1:30 in the Tyrone Gym. Our third grade orientation is tomorrow night. Parents and third grade students, the letter went out beginning of last week. We will be providing refreshments after the program. The program's only going to last about 30 to 40 minutes, not too long. Fourth grade teachers are coming back that evening, which I was really excited about, so the third grade parents will get a chance to meet the fourth grade staff. There's a band concert at Tyrone at 7 o'clock on Thursday, so it's a busy week this week for a lot of parents and students. Friday, Tyrone is having their first jump-in. It's a jump roping program. I worked with Mrs. O'Keefe. It's part of our parent organization. In the past, you may remember that we used to do a walkathon outside in the fall, and then we did the Tyrone Tin Can Auction in the spring. As you know, Beacon and Tyrone combined their parent association groups, and it was decided that the effort that goes into the Tin Can Auction, it just didn't, the money significantly has been going down from year to year, as well as our fall fundraiser. So we brainstormed and we came up with this idea. Mrs. O'Keefe has been working with the students on jump roping. They form teams and they come to the gym on Friday. I've been pushing, they'll get out of class for a whole hour if they want to participate. So that really seemed to pump them up. They'll bring their gym clothes and they'll change into them, and they form teams, and if they collect donations, there's certain types of prizes they can win. So that is taking place this Friday. Each grade level has its own scheduled time, but all of them will have gone at some point on Friday. So we're hoping to something new, got the kids excited, and we'll see how that goes for us. And then also on Friday, at the end of the day, is our PBIS reward for the students whose behavior warrants it for the month of February, and it will be a pizza party. So after they jump themselves silly, they will stuff themselves silly, hopefully. Any other questions?
What's PBIS?
Positive Behavior Intervention System. It's the grant that I got from Wayne County RESA that we initiated this year. Tyrone used to have the points that students got. Now it's more colored cards, and in order to qualify, they can only have had actually, we formed a committee and we worked out on summer how we were going to roll it out on some of the interventions. We make videos using our own students. When we start every month, it's a new area, like bathroom behavior, and we work on it all month. Hallway behavior, and we work on it all month. So we chunk it out, and we have students who help make the videos when we're trying to portray what we need students to do, and they absolutely love those videos. It really is. Mr. Hopkins has done a great job with those, and so that's what that is. And at the end of the month, this month, you can only have, there's different colors. You start out at green every day. If you get a warning, you move to yellow. If you get another warning, you move to orange. If you get a third warning, you move to red, and you go to the responsibility room and make a phone call home. And then you can end up with a detention or an in-school suspension. And we also have a gold. So everybody starts out in green, and green is really good, but we really encourage students that they have to push themselves to go above and beyond just average. So in this month, in order to qualify, you have to have had no more than 4 yellows, 4 warnings for the month, and at least 2 golds.
Okay.
And we have, last time we had 150, a little more than 150 kids who qualified.
And this is every month?
Every month there's a different reward. Last month, and thank you to City Year, they came over and did line dancing. And they were amazing. And the kids had such a good time, and it was fun.
Okay.
Any
I'm not
questions?
sure if you mentioned, maybe you did, but what time is that Beacon event tomorrow night for the
Oh,
Beacon
at 6
students?
o'clock
6 o'clock?
at the Tyrone Gym.
For the third graders?
For third graders who will soon be fourth graders.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question for you. You mentioned parents to be trained on MyStar, and I know MyStar is an excellent way for parents to keep track of students' grades and find out what's going on in the classroom. Do you know about what percentage of parents already are able to access MyStar?
Well, you know, at our open house and throughout the year, we put it in our newsletter, and we have a lot of parents who get their username and their password. Ms. Eskandarian and I are constantly printing those for parents. It seems to be right around report card time we get a lot of requests. Can you send me my username and password? I don't know if there's a way to see exactly how many people actually use it. I don't know about that. But I know that the parents that we have brought in so far, there hasn't been one parent who already was using it. So for them, it's a new tool, even though it's been around for Harper Woods for quite a while. Same with Study Island. Their kids have had usernames and passwords and access to Study Island. And from a lot of our parents, that was news to them that every week they are expected to do homework on their Study Island account. So, anything else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. And that brings us to an update on activities at the middle school and the high school. Mrs. Norwood.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's good to see my beautiful students sitting here, you know, to give me support. Thank you all. City year in the middle school, they're implementing a reading, math, and attendance challenge in the middle school. And to see the kids outside, you know, in the commons area every day working with them is just a phenomenal thing to see, because the kids, you know, they want to be challenged. They want, you know, higher expectations for themselves. So that's a good thing that they're doing that. Also, the African American Young Men of Promise initiative is in full effect. We had a meeting last week, and the teachers are really, you know, they're really excited about that. I think Mr. Beadle had a chance to go to the meeting. What was it, last week? You know, so it was a really good meeting. Also, to the young ladies in the middle school had a chance to participate in the in the Black History program. You know, they practiced for months, and just to see them dance and just be dedicated, it was a really good program. I'm going to talk about that later. In the high school, we're really focusing on MME, ACT, and Work Keys preparation. It's always in full effect. During the winter break, I just want to thank the parents and the students and the teachers who came out. They gave up their break to help our kids, and it was really, you know, we had a good turnout. And just to see the responses that the kids gave to the teachers for coming in, you know, to help, and it was a really good thing. So I'm looking to do that next year. I think it really was helpful. And the teachers are taking the exit tickets where the kids responded, and they're responding to that. So I think that's really good. We took our 4th ACT practice test last week. Ready to see the results. I think we're going to do really well on the ACT. We had a meeting today in the auditorium, and the kids are so excited about taking this test. I think that they're prepared. I think that the teachers have really worked hard, and they're ready for the challenge. So I'm really excited about getting the results back. Also, GM Schools of Excellence, United Way mock interviews, they're coming up in May, so we're going to have our 11th grade students get ready for that. We're going to have high-level executives come out and interview the kids, so I think that's going to be really good. Also, 10 of our students are going to get paid summer internships, so that's really going to be phenomenal. The Get School Challenge, they came in today and did a focus group with our kids. You know, we won the $5,000 for having all of our kids apply to college. And thank you, Jim. Apply to college. I get excited. Apply to college, and they came in and interviewed our kids, and they love our kids. You know, our kids asked wonderful questions. Ms. Quaker, your son was there. He did a good job. They really were impressed by our kids. Our kids always do a good job. And Spencer Oliver, Kelsey Waters, he has been nominated as a finalist he has been nominated as a finalist for the National Merit Scholarship Program, and this honor goes out to our students, you know, who just show, you know, academic excellence. So I just want to make sure that I mention him, because he's a really nice, you know, young man. I talk to him every day, so I told him I would give him a shout out today. Also, to our band is going to perform at the S3 grant up in Ann Arbor. They've been invited to perform, so they did a really good job in the Black History program too, especially the jazz band. So, and that's getting to our program. I think we had an excellent Black History program. We had a good turnout. The parents came out, the students, the kids were really dedicated, and Ms. Whitelow did a good job of bringing everything together. I just want to thank the families, students, everybody for coming out. I think it was a really good program. So I had a chance to meet Ms. Selburn. We had a good conversation for about 20 minutes. I think I talked her to death, and it was just really great. You know, I talk a lot, as you all can see. So, any questions? Anyone?
You talked about the kids coming out midwinter break
Yes.
for the ACT, but you kind of jumped ahead and you didn't actually say what it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I talk really fast. Let me slow down.
Well, maybe I missed it because you do.
Yeah, I do. And Jim always tries to help me. I talk really fast. We had an ACT writing boot camp. where we had a 2-day, it was a 2-day, 3 hours a day, and the teachers came in. You know, we had about 18 teachers to come in, about 17 or 18 students, and the students really appreciated the individualized instruction that they got from the teachers. And what they kept focusing on is they couldn't believe that the teachers gave up their break to come in and help them, and they really got a lot of strategies. And I think it was a good, because it was snow, you know, and they still came through the snow. So they really told me next year for the 10th graders that's going to the 11th grade that we should do it again because it was really helpful. So it's just dedicated teachers and the students. It was really good.
And that kind of came together quickly, but kind of...
That's how we operate in Harper Woods.
Last
You know, we
minute.
see it, we act on it, we do it.
Yeah, this time, next year, you'll have more advanced notice to the
Yes,
kids.
yes, we will. Yeah, because they kept asking, you know, I wish my girlfriend would have known, my friend, but it came together, and it was really helpful for the kids. And just getting that one-on-one instruction, you know, they really liked it.
I understand there was a bonus included
Yeah, I
for the
think-
children too, right?
Oh, yes, Mr. Beaterwolf graciously, you know, gave the kids $10 a day. And one of the kids said, I would have came anyway. You know, it wasn't about the money, but, you know, I saw him using, you know, I'm talking about Tim Hortons, you know, using the money, but, you know, that was a good incentive. So thank you, Mr. Beaterwolf, for doing that. But it's just dedicated kids and teachers, you know, just really coming through, you know, Mr. Rosser and I came, the Pearson team, put everything together. Again, as you all know from day one, it's about a family. It's family for me, you know, here. And to see everybody come together and support the kids was a good thing. So any other questions?
Yeah, you talked about a group, positive group, African American Young Men of Promise. Could you just emphasize this?
It's focusing on closing the achievement gap for African American males who may not be doing well. So it's, you know, different programs, academic programs, and giving teachers support to help the students. And that's going to start in the middle school, and I hope to bring it to the high school. It's an initiative from the MDE. Yes.
In fact, Ms. Williams, just for your information and for the rest of the board's information as well, we have planned for the March board meeting that representatives of that program will be here to provide you and the community more information about that initiative. It's a pilot program that's been launched across the state. State Superintendent Flanagan is highly committed to it, and we're one of, I think, 8 to 10 schools and districts across the state that are participating in the pilot.
And one thing just to add to, a lot of individuals have decided that they want to give scholarships to our school, to our high school seniors. So to know that people are trying to bring money to our school and they're seeking us out, that's a good thing. So I just wanted to make sure that I recognize our seniors and people, you know, really want to help them financially to go to college. So
How many students will be able to be a part of the program?
the African American Men of Promise, this is the whole middle school.
Oh.
It's going to start in the middle school, and like I said, I hope it trickles over to the high school.
I got one more question.
Okay.
What is this that the kids are going to Ann Arbor for?
The band, the S3 grant, Mrs. Hall, they invited our band through Miss Casey. They want us to come and perform. I guess they've seen them do some performances somewhere, and they want them to come up to a conference to entertain the crowd.
Okay, I was wondering what the event is.
Oh, gosh.
It's the statewide conference of schools that are participating in the Safe and Secure
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
Schools grant.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have different
That's not
meetings.
U of M, Mr. Selburn, unfortunately.
I know,
but at
go-
least it's
yeah,
in
go
the
blue.
shadow of.
Well, they'll get a flavor of campus.
Yeah.
Perhaps so.
Yeah,
Maybe while they're there, they could take a tour.
yes. So go blue. I like Michigan, so I'm sorry.
Go blue.
Okay, any questions?
Or just
Okay.
one, do you have a similar program for females like the African American Men of Promise?
You know what, not at this time, but we're looking to get something. We have an individual by the name of Ms. Kellum. She's really working with the middle school kids for conflict resolution, but I'm hoping to get something like that for the middle and high school, you know. Thank you, Jim.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item 8.0 on our agenda, which is a student spotlight for our DECA students that have achieved some level of recognition.
We're absolutely having some success, or rather, I should say, that our students are having success. So, Mr. Mooney, if you could, please.
I think Mr. Mooney gets a little credit for the success, too.
I think he's having an impact. Yes,
Well,
sir.
these, I tell you what, I'll just start. I've been doing DECA now for 13 years, and it is easily.
And DECA is what?
DECA is It started out as a club for high school and college kids. It's called the Distributive Education Club of America. They have evolved over the years to what they now call DECA, an Association of Marketing Students. It's a business club for high school students. Students that are enrolled in marketing classes, marketing programs, get the opportunity to be involved in a youth organization that gives them opportunities to learn and develop problem-solving skills, analytical skills, presentation skills. They're able to develop leadership skills as well. We had a few of our students this year have the opportunity to go to an annual conference. It's the Michigan DECA State Leadership Conference. And we took 8 students, and for them it was, they went to the meeting knowing little about DECA. Most of them were, well, they were all seniors. None of them having ever been a part of a DECA program. And they did their thing. They had workshops in the morning where they learned about competition, they learned about leadership development, they learned about DECA. And I went and had lunch with them, and they wouldn't shut up. I mean, Mooney, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. And it was, I loved it. I loved the energy and just what they were able to get from that experience. I mean, you don't see kids get that excited about a lot of different things at the high school level. But for me, it's the same thing every year. DECA is just great for kids. So that was a state leadership conference. With DECA, they have competition as well, which is exciting. And December 19th at the Michigan DECA District 8 region conference, this was at Baker College in Allen Park. There was approximately 20 high schools and about 500 kids that competed in a variety of different events. Some of it was, we have a hotel and lodging component, we have a travel and tourism marketing component, we have business services marketing. There's just a lot of different types of apparel and accessories. There's a lot of different events that are associated with marketing. Prior to the event, kids take a 100-question, multiple choice online test. That's stage 1. Stage 2, when they go to the conference, at that time, they're actually given a, they have to do a role play. So they're given a scenario. And for the team events, I believe it's a half hour they give you to analyze the situation, develop their problem-solving skills with respect to what they're asking about the event, and then they have to present in front of a judge. Fun stuff. We took 19, I think 18 kids went to that conference. And after the role plays are done, they tally up and they combine both the written test and the presentation scores. And then they do the awards program. And as you can see, Deshaun Williams is representing. That's not, he only brought 4 of his medals. Deshaun was a student in my program last year, earned the opportunity to go to the States last year. He won 3 medals last year, 1 for the role play, and then 1 for the written part, and then 1 for the overall. He did the same thing this year. He just, I'm so proud of Deshaun. He finished in 2nd place in his event. And there was, in his event, and this is, nice. When they give the awards out, they don't say what place the students got. They simply state that, and from, Harper Woods High School, Deshaun Williams, and so Deshaun goes up. He doesn't know what he won, but once they start hanging the medals over him, and at that point, I think they take like the top 8 students, they qualify for the state conference, which is what you guys approved earlier today. But what I found, this was just new to me this year too, is everybody knew where Harper Woods High School was sitting at that award ceremony. Certainly at the beginning they say, please reserve your applause until all people's names have been called, and not our kids. And they went frickin' nuts. It was, and like I said, 13 years I've been doing this, and I have not seen a group of kids, even for those whose names were not called. The enthusiasm they showed for their classmates was, again, something I hadn't seen in my 13 years of doing this, so that was cool. So anyway, so they get their awards, and then they qualify for the state conference, which I thought was It's one of the best things I do as a teacher is to see the reactions. I mean, I'm putting it out there. Miss Curry. Miss Curry had tears in her eyes. It brought tears to my eyes too. When you see kids get that excited, that emotional, I mean it touches your heart as a teacher, and it's quite an experience. But not only did they qualify to go to the States, they did exceptionally well. Kamisha Flowers, who's not here, arguably the toughest competition. She had 28 students that she competed against. She finished in first place. Junior, Kamisha Flowers. She was in DECA last year, but this year 28 students. DeCarla Strong, unable to make it tonight. She competed with 15 students, first place finish. Hotel and lodging, 16 students competed in that event. Deshaun Williams, second place. Second place. Travel and tourism, there was 20 teams. It's a team event, so there was, our team was Chantel and Ebony. Out of 20 teams, they took second place. So we had we didn't have an 8th place finish. We didn't have a 6th place. We were 1 and 2. We had Montoya Hughes, not able to make it. She finished 4th. And then they gave us an opportunity to bring some alternates. And that's why I've got Autumn Hode and Michaela Bailey here. They finished in our school with the 2 highest written scores. They had the 2 highest written scores. And it's interesting, you think they got 61 out of 100. So you're talking 60%. That's the highest. And that's considered pretty good. When you get to the state level, they need an extra, probably, maybe 15 extra points. They need to be in that 75 range, and that's possible. But for them and that's something for them to be proud of, to know that on that written part, that 100 question multiple choice test, I was the best in our school. So proud of those guys as well. So 2 weeks from now, we've got the Michigan DECA State Career Development Conference to be held at the Marriott Renaissance Center this year. Last year was in Grand Rapids at the Amway. About 2,500 kids from across the state of Michigan will be at the Marriott. Opening and closing sessions will be at the new Cobo Hall. It's going to be a wonderful experience. It is every year. And every year I just got good kids. I never have to worry about, holding their hand and babysitting and worry about them not making good decisions. We've had that discussion prior to that with them, with their parents. If I don't feel safe and comfortable with them going, then they're not asked to go. It just makes everybody's job that much easier and it makes the event, the weekend, a lot of fun. So I think I've said enough. A little winded. Any questions, perhaps?
Can you introduce the students
I will,
so we
be happy
board
to.
know who is who, please?
Chantel Powell on the end with the team of Ebony Curry. They were in travel and tourism, both seniors. Ebony brought her medals today. Deshaun Williams. Deshaun Williams, Jr. Refer to him as Michael Phelps with all the medals. Like I said, that's not all of them. He's got a couple more back at the house. Autumn Hode, first alternate, one of the higher test scores in the building. Actually, Autumn and Michaela both tied for first with respect to the written part of the test. Michaela Bailey, senior. Looking forward to the weekend. It's a lot of fun. It's great for kids. Absolutely, no doubt.
I've got one question, because you mentioned that all of these students are seniors.
Yes.
This is to participate in the DECA program. It's not just restricted to seniors, is it?
No, and I'm glad you asked.
I don't want anybody to come away from this thinking it's for seniors only.
No, it's not. It's I teach mostly seniors, mostly juniors, and it's tough for the seniors that came in this year. They knew very little about DECA, so and this just being my second year, it's hard to get the word out. It has been a little bit difficult to try and get momentum and get the word out and just try and explain to kids, or have the opportunity to explain to kids all about what DECA is. One thing I will say is that I've opened it up to my personal and business finance class. It's a business club. So if you have no sense for anything that represents marketing and business finance, it's not the club for you. And so that's why I think, because I teach personal and business finance and I teach marketing, that the students in those classes, it's a little easier them to blend in and comprehend the types of things that they're being tested on. I mean, the marketing test that's taken is, similar to the types of things that we review in our marketing class. One thing I will say, students that were in the personal and business finance program that wanted to participate in DECA, I didn't say no. I said, absolutely, we'll sign you up. First time I've ever done that. And reflecting on that experience, they were at a bit of a disadvantage because DECA is marketing. It's not personal business finance, so they were at a bit of a disadvantage simply because they didn't know the content material that's taught in a marketing program. So, what do we do about that next year? Maybe think about expanding and adding another marketing program. That would be awesome. And just to give them, for me, the more kids that get involved in something like this, the better. We've got a couple things planned for our marketing students the second semester. Another nice component of the marketing program is it is a state-funded program. So we do get money from the state for every student that's in a marketing program. And so that's able to absorb some of the costs and, create opportunities for kids to, go to the state leadership conference, to attend this conference, and again, some of the things that I've got planned for the second semester. So.
It probably doesn't hurt to put this on a college application.
Not at all. No, and a resume too. I mean, just Michigan DECA District 8 award winner on a resume. If I'm a hiring manager, I'm going to ask about that. Absolutely.
Sure.
And certainly, anytime you get an opportunity to add extracurricular activities to a college application, that bodes quite well as well. Other questions?
Mr. Mooney, if I may,
You may.
we'd also like to express our appreciation to you. And so the board will recall that Mr. Mooney has come to teaching as a second career. And so as you think about the success that his students are having, part of that is because of the experiences that he brings. He's worked in the hospitality industry in a variety of capacities. He's managed elite restaurants. He's managed hotels. He's worked in management in resort-type capacities. In fact, Mr. Mooney was a manager of a restaurant, the carbon copy of our Renaissance, the rotating restaurant that used to be on top. He was the manager of that restaurant, the number one restaurant in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, in 1996 when Georgia was hosting the Summer Olympics. And so, those types of experiences enable him to bring experiences to his kids. And certainly the board would know that the district has been involved with and supporting of DECA for some time. And we were having some success. But in your short tenure with the district, we're seeing more kids involved. I love that you included kids who may not have yet had the full background level of experiences, but more kids are having the opportunity, and look at what it is that our kids are doing when provided the opportunity. So in partnership with the Board of Education, I want to say thank you for your leadership as well.
Cool.
Great job at regionals. Bring back some more hard work from state.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mooney, and congratulations, kids. Young people, not kids, young people. Young adults. That brings us to item 9.0 on our agenda, which is recognition of retired Detective Charles Walker from the Harper Woods PD. And I think, Mr. Beadle, if you're going to run us through this.
I will. Presentation subsequently.
Oh, okay.
Keep me in the loop on that. I thought about that yesterday.
Last week's meeting came together at the last second.
Okay.
I didn't even know if I was going to make it.
Role of a school liaison police officer. Law enforcement within a school environment. When you think about it, that's a somewhat unsettling concept. I mean, what's a liaison officer going to do? You know, handcuff all the kids and throw them in the back of the squad car? It doesn't really seem like what it is that should be occurring in schools. And in fact, absolutely it isn't. Because the reality is that the intended role of an effective police liaison officer really is exactly the opposite of that. It is a purposeful effort to try and reduce the need for law enforcement in schools and or in a community by allowing the representatives of the police department to build relationships, by allowing those liaison officers to work proactively with kids, by creating opportunity for those liaison officers to create caring relationships with kids, and via those relationships to help empower kids to better be able to make appropriate decisions in those times, sometimes when you've got to make exactly the right decision. And so tonight, in partnership with the Board of Education, and on behalf of the students and faculty of Harper Woods Schools, we honor now retired Detective Charles Walker, recently retired from the Harper Woods Police Department. Welcome back home. It's good to see you. We've been missing you already. Glad you're here. Detective Walker, you have had a tremendous impact on our students, grades K through 12. How? First and foremost, by simply caring. I always loved how you knew the students' names. And of course, they knew you. Now, sometimes it would come with that, that adjective in front. Yeah, that knucklehead Todd Beaterwolf. That's part of the role sometimes. And then, you know what? Sometimes it will come with, man, that kid's a great kid. And I just always loved how you said it just that way. Man, that kid's a great kid. Can't you just hear your dad saying it just like that? Man said it here hundreds, if not thousands of times. And the other thing that I really liked is that not only did you know the kids' names, and they likewise knew yours, but I also loved how the kids knew that you knew the students' families. And that kind of sent a little message too. I know your mom, or I know your dad, I've heard you say to kids many times. You knew that the students often needed guidance and leadership, and so you led them. You led them in the community, you led them in the halls, and you led them on our athletic fields. You knew the students needed a friend, and so you cared about them. A warm greeting, a fist bump, a handshake and a hug like you just gave me, a word of encouragement. I have seen you do it hundreds of times. So I know that you held the students to expectations and you expected them to meet those expectations, but first and foremost, man, I know you brought your heart to your role as a police officer and as a liaison officer in this community. I saw it again and again. And I love that about you. And I will always respect that about you, sir. You shared and you showed the students so many facets of your life experiences. From a professional athlete, to a police officer, to a husband and a father, a community leader. They had some sense of all of those multifacets of who you are as a person and who you are as a professional. And so, Charles, in retirement, you may leave the woods, so to speak, but I know that the woods will not leave you, and even as you do leave, I know that you're still here in the woods because you're in the heart of these kids, you're in the memories of these kids, and you're in the structures in terms of how it is that one conducts themselves as a student and as a citizen here in Harper Woods, in the state of Michigan, and in the good old US of A as well. And I'll end by just saying this, Charles. I never doubted. Occasionally, when we need that law enforcement side, when there was an issue that needed to be addressed, I never had to look behind because you were already out in front heading toward that situation. Never had to look, never had to wonder, where's Detective Walker? Where's he going to be? There he is, every time. I'm going to miss you personally. I'm going to miss you professionally and in partnership with this board, this staff, these students, and this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are a difference maker.
Officer Walker.
Don't go away.
Officer Walker.
Don't walk in.
That was great.
Detective Walker, did you bring somebody here with you today?
Yes, I'd
Why
like to
don't you
have my
do some-
son, if you would. Son.
How old is he?
Jordan Walker, come on up. My son is 22 years old, greatest kid, and out of the thousands and hundreds of thousands of kids I've come across in the last 10 years in the Harperwood School District, without prejudice, I could say this is the best kid. Never gave me a problem. College football athlete, works a good job, still going to school. He's all that a father could ever want. Trust me.
Great to hear.
Those are wonderful words. I'm going to make this short and sweet. I still call him Officer Walker, but he left as a detective.
Well, they used to give gold badges in the plants, but gold watches, but they give gold badges now. So I'll take that.
He came here, and there's a certain level of respect for a police officer. There's a certain level of respect for the badge. And he came here and he had that. But let me tell you, the respect that he earned so far exceeded that initial respect that any police officer would get or should get, but his level of respect was earned all the way by everyone here in this district. We will miss you. Thank you. And I have a certificate of appreciation
Thank you so
for
much.
you.
I appreciate it. And on behalf of myself and the Harper Woods Police Department, I'd like to thank you all. Been assigned to the school district since 2004, I believe. And even though I left for a short time to be in the Detective Bureau full-time, I want you to know that I've always respected you all and the jobs that you've done. I really appreciate you so much. And you didn't have to do this. I was just trying to fade into the sunset. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. These things occur when you gotta get your money, man. So you just fade into the sunset, and this is bigger than I ever expected. And Todd, I really appreciate you when you called me a week and a half ago to say that you all want to honor me. Like I said, since 03, 04, I've been before several board members and several superintendents. And Todd, I got to give you all my love, dude. You gave me the best, and I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Okay, that brings us to 10.0, which is a presentation concerning our police liaison program. And we're going to introduce everybody to our new liaison officer, Officer Robert Hill.
Mr. Hill, please.
You're not feeling any pressure.
Good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to say Officer Walker did the hard work. He laid the foundation. He came and built the relationships. And I'm just looking to build on what he already laid. When this position was offered to me, I jumped at it. I want to be here. I'm committed to these students. I'm committed to this district. Prior to this posting, I spent the first 7 years of my career out here answering police runs on midnights. And I must say I'm happy to be home every night. Can't say the wife and kids are, but Dad, shouldn't he be at work? No, Dad has a day job now. Dad quit the night job. But I'm looking forward to being here. A lot of these kids I met just during the course of my daily patrol activities, especially during the summertime. at the parks, on Beaconsfield. So I didn't come in here cold, so to speak. I came in here with them knowing my face and knowing my name. I've been to their houses, just seen them at the stores, CVS, at the gas stations. So it's not a stranger coming in here to oversee your kids. My number one priority is safety. If somebody's going to get hurt, let it be me. The staff and these students need to go home. Any risk, let me take it. My department will cover me, and I will cover your students, and I will cover the staff. Secondly, I believe in accountability and responsibility. I believe if I can reach a kid and teach a kid before I drop the hammer, I'd rather go that way. Sometimes there's no choice but to go to the hammer, but if I can intervene and reach a couple of kids before I have to reach them out there, to me that's doing police work. That's preventing, as was stated earlier. I don't tired of seeing the cycle of criminals and chasing the cycle of criminals, just breeding more criminals. I believe that this is proactive police work. This is a side of police work that kids need to see. They don't need to be completely inundated with what they see on TV and what they hear in music. They need to see police as their servant. They need to see police serving them, regardless of how old you are or your socio-economic background, whatever it is. They need to know that police serve them. I intend to serve objectively, fairly, honestly, and with integrity. That's the standard that my department holds to me, and I will hold myself to that standard, and you hold me accountable too. And I expect these kids to hold me accountable as well.
We're glad you're here, sir. You're off to an
Happy to be
excellent
here.
start.
Happy to
Keep
be
pushing forward.
I will.
And-
Welcome to Harperwood Schools.
Thank
And
you for
those
having
are
me.
those excellent words, Officer Hill. I don't think you could ask for anything more.
Thank you. This is not just, a stopgap. I intend to be here. I intend to see some of these 7th and 8th graders graduate. So I'm committed to being here.
Very nice.
Thank you. And just for a little bit of clarification, the police liaison program, the police liaison officer, has come about as a result of two things as funding sources. As I understand it, the city of Harper Woods has obtained and received a grant to help fund the officer position. And I believe that that grant was at approximately a 75% level.
I believe so, over a 3-year period, yes.
And it required a match funding source, and the district stepped up, and the board approved that, and the district is matching what the city is contributing, and we're matching that with our 25% in order to have a liaison officer. We feel that it's very important and very beneficial to our district and to our students and to everyone here. So we're very glad to be doing this. We're thankful to the city for, and I think it was Police Chief who probably initiated that and received that grant, and we're glad that he did so, and we thank the city, and we wish the best to Officer Hill. Thank you. And now that brings us to 11.0 in our agenda, which is public participation regarding action items. We only have one action item. If anybody any member of the public wishes to address the board on that action item, please step up. We will have another opportunity later in the agenda for general comments from the public. Hearing none, that'll bring us to 12.0, which is that action item, which is the middle school track program proposal. And that is right at the tail end of your packet, page 67 and 68. And we have a recommended motion that the Board of Education approves the implementation of a middle school track and field program and its associated cost of $10,357.19. We have a motion.
Motion.
We have support. Mr. Beederwolf, you want to lead us through this?
If I may, sir.
Yes.
So the Board of Education will recall that they had an opportunity to meet earlier this month with Athletic Director Mr. Jimmy Henry to review this proposal. It's pretty exciting to still be in a position as a district to be looking at not cutting opportunities for students, as unfortunately some districts are having to make those choices, but rather in our case, you have before you a recommendation to expand the programs that are available to students here in our district. This particular program, we have not had an athletic offering for our middle school students during the spring sports season. And so we bring forward this recommendation for that purpose. And as well, it is very important that students have an opportunity to participate. And in our other middle school athletic programs, there's sometimes cut-based sports. Whether it's boys or girls basketball, volleyball, and even sometimes football, whereas track and field, there's room for all kids who have an interest and who are willing to make the commitment to have a place on the squad. And so for a variety of reasons, we're excited to bring this enhanced programming for our middle school students forward to you tonight as a recommendation, and we seek your support.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
So this proposal covers due to coaching staff and uniforms for the students, as well as associated costs with the traveling and the different meets, I believe, that they will be participating in.
It does, Mrs. Purnell.
I've got some questions.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I don't think you mentioned that this is for boys and girls. Is that correct?
It is for boys and girls. Yes, sir. Thank you for that clarification.
I just have to make a funny comment. When I read this at first, it was late at night when I was reading it, and right at the top, it talks about coaches needed, and I read the word coach, and I saw my mind saw the word couch.
It must have been late.
And I saw that we had a lot of money dedicated for couches.
Well, maybe this is a good time to mention to now retired and maybe seeking a few shekels, the former detective. Coach is needed, Detective Walker.
You know, I'm going to go off topic here because I meant to mention, I'm going to go off topic here. Not only does Officer Walker, Detective Walker, has done so much for the district, it should be noted that I've seen him on the sidelines at the football games. He volunteers time on Friday nights and probably at practices. He's nodding his head yes. He volunteers his time to coach our football team. Not paid. He's doing it out of his love for the students and for the district. So I just had to go off topic and mention that.
This one is paid.
But you got to know something about track. Okay.
He's run a little bit this night.
A little bit.
I do have some questions. We're showing here that we need some equipment. And we have a high school program. It seems like we should have these items already.
So a couple of different things. One, of course, the uniforms will be of different sizes.
No, I'm talking about just the equipment.
Just the equipment. Part of it is scheduling of practice. And so now that all the schools get released at the same time, some of the programs will be running at the same time, and so we may need to duplicate some equipment because in essence we'll now have 4 programs that will kind of be sharing the facility and trying to maximize their practice times.
Okay. I do recall asking Mr. Henry about that. He said that some of the equipment that we have, the existing equipment, is wearing out. And we need to replace it.
All of the above.
I'm just wondering if we should show it as an expense for the middle school program when it's probably also going to be used by the high school program, or maybe it doesn't matter.
I would defer. I think it all goes out the athletic budget.
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I think he was just trying to give you guys a feel of what costs of starting up the program would be.
Okay. And I noticed that we're going to be purchasing 70 uniforms. What kind of participation do we anticipate? I heard it was pretty high.
Yeah, so we've done some surveying. That's part of what's led to this recommendation. We surveyed the student, body and what was their level of interest and so forth. Mr. Henry has done that work, And so, whether we'll get 70 students out for this first year or not, sometimes uniforms can be discontinued and we want to have supply on hand that will enable us to restock and so forth over the next couple to 3 years. But we are anticipating a nice level of participation from our 7th and 8th grade student athletes, both our males and our females. They've told us that they want this program, and that's why it is that we brought it forward for your consideration.
Okay. One more question. We're budgeted here for 5 away contests.
Okay?
But if you go through the contests that are listed, we only have 4 that are away.
Huh?
Maybe it's a typo,
Don't know the answer, sir.
or maybe we budgeted a little bit too much money for the bus driver.
I see the same question you're asking. I apologize, Mr. Selvin, I don't know the answer to the question.
But I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. It's not a big deal. We'll make the adjustment as necessary, I'm sure. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the middle school track and field program for boys and girls, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. The program is approved and the expenditure is approved 7-0. And that brings us to board items. Do any committee chairs have anything to report on their respective committees? As chair of the policy committee, I'll just mention and remind those members that we do have a meeting scheduled for March 25th at 6 p.m. And I think that's a Wednesday, but I'm not sure. Anybody else? Hearing none. That brings us to 14.0, the report of the superintendent.
I'd like to begin this evening by thanking our students and the Harper Woods community for their support of the African American History program that was held here in the secondary campus auditorium last Friday night. Our commitment for that event is to put the spotlight on our students, and how great it was to see our students from Beacon, Tyrone, the middle school and the high school be under that spotlight on our auditorium stage to share their talents, to walk us through some of the history of our nation, and to remember the struggle that our African American community had to work their way through in order to become full partners in what are the opportunities that represent us as that concept of the American dream and the opportunities that as a nation we afford all people who are willing to work hard and who are willing to make the commitments and the sacrifices that are necessary. Our kids did a great job. Our parents and our families were out here to support them and cheer them on. As a matter of fact, as we served dinner in the afterglow, we ran out of seats. And so you know what? That's a beautiful problem to have. And it was a great night here. And so hats off to our kids and thanks to our families for coming out and supporting their children, the district, and our celebration of that component of our nation's history. As well, I want to put a little teaser for hopefully something that we will be putting the spotlight on as the board next convenes for their regular meeting in March. And namely, I'm talking about MEEP results. And while those results are not yet available to the public, we are now anticipating that they will be by the March meeting. Earlier today, the state released for internal use the first official MEEP reports, and our data is really exciting. The number of students who have improved in their academic performance, the data is big. And it's testimony to the hard work of those kids. It's testimony to the support of their family. It's testimony to the hard work of our staff. It's testimony to the leadership of the district and the resources that are being provided to our students and to our staff as well. So while I can't talk about specifics today because they're officially, quote, embargoed, this is my teaser for the upcoming big event. And it'll be a celebration of our MEEP results, and we anticipate that we should be able to publicly share those results. The board has seen them already, but publicly share them as the board meets in March. And so, of course, then finally, That means that we now place our attention on our Michigan Merit Exam and our ACT test that our 11th graders will be completing and undertaking Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. So to those families and those students, we remind you, rest. Not staying up till 1 o'clock that night because you got something that's really at stake the following day. A good healthy breakfast, all of those things are important components. As Mrs. Norwood has said, we've had students take 4 of those practice exams. So that concept of test-taking fatigue, we've been trying to kind of, in that training kind of a way, prepare our students to work through that and to be performing as strongly during the last 5 minutes of that testing time period as they were during the first 5 minutes. So, juniors, the bar's high, MEP results are up, kids are jumping higher, they're reaching new heights, and we're looking forward to your being part of that success as well. Student achievement comes first, and that's the business that we're about every day. Looking forward to celebrating our MEP results in March.
As they say on TV, details at 11.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Beadle. That brings us to public participation. If any member of the public wishes to address the board, please step up to the podium and identify yourself.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Thompson. I'm a candidate for state representative here in the 1st District. And for those of you who are not familiar with the boundaries of the 1st District, it includes Northeast Detroit, Harper Woods, Grosse Pointe Woods, and Grosse Pointe Shores. I'm a native of the east side of Detroit. I went to Northern Michigan University and moved to Washington, D.C. after graduating. I'm a product of the Detroit Public Schools. I went to the Detroit School of Arts. And I'm really committed to the community in which I grew up in. And so I actually moved back home to Detroit because I wanted to be a part of the change that was happening here. It's really important for me to learn the issues of this entire district, not just Detroit. And so I'll be spending the next few months learning about the issues here in Harper Woods. I'll be coming to the next few meetings, so you'll see me. I've already met with Mr. Serban a few months ago, and I'd love to meet with you each individually. I'm the Senior Director of Engagement at the United Way for Southeastern Michigan, where I oversee the organization's community engagement and public policy and advocacy work. And I've also worked on Capitol Hill. I've worked on higher education policy, community engagement, community organizing, and a number of efforts across the country. So I'm really excited about getting to learn each of you and the issues that are facing you all in this community. But I just wanted you all to sort of know who I was. You'll continue to see me over the next few months. And ultimately, I hope to earn your vote in August. So thank you very much.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Because I don't think you mentioned if you have a party affiliation.
Yes, I'm a Democrat. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wish to address the board? Seeing none? That brings us to matters of interest to board members. Any members of the board have anything interesting they want to talk about?
Yes, I do. I went to a Michigan Association School Board conference, and the Michigan Association School Board, many of the school boards from all over the state get together and they talk about different things, and some very exciting things are going on within each school and school districts. And for Harper Woods, we've done so many positive, wonderful things that I passed out to the board. It's a invitation sponsored by the Michigan Association of School Boards and the Education Excellence. It's a competition where you enter some of those wonderful things that we've done into the state competition, so that, the state would recognize the school district for the things that we've done. Like our Benchmark Cafe is wonderful. So within Harper Woods, we all know about it, and locally, but I think some of these wonderful programs that we have, should be, addressed to the state so that they would know, what all we're doing. Showcase, yes. Now, the deadline, though, is kind of quick. It's coming up on us real fast, which is March the 7th. But, I really do think that Harper Woods should enter it, so I passed out the flyer to everybody.
We'll take on that challenge. We'll submit an application for sure.
And thank you for encouraging us to do so. I agree. Let's pass the good word. Let's get it out there.
Anyone else?
I want to welcome Officer Hill to the Harperwood School District, and hopefully he will continue the work that Detective Walker has put in place here. And Detective Walker is absolutely correct. Oftentimes when I drop my child off and drive all the way almost 45 minutes away, I know that he is safe, and I feel very comfortable leaving him here to the point where sometimes he doesn't want to come home. However, when I pull up and I see Officer Walker standing out greeting the kids, he's going to be definitely missed in this community. And I definitely welcome Officer Hill to Harper Woods, and hoping that we will continue to see great things from the Harper Woods Police Department. I also want to share with parents that if you have an opportunity to attend the Wax Museum at Tyrone, I attended one year, and I actually went back to work and showed a lot of my staff, my staff member, as well as my sister and friend who also teach in other districts, the Wax Museum pictures, and they have actually duplicated that. They was extremely impressed. I was impressed. It was outstanding work. And so if you can get over to Tyrone from 1 at 1:30, that will be an excellent opportunity to see the students' hard work and to see the work, because they literally transform into those characters. So I was always impressed by that Wax Museum. And the jump roping program, good luck with that. That sounds like a fun activity. Not only is it going to be fun, but it's also a healthy activity. So good luck with that, and if I get a chance, I can stop by.
Jump some rope.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because when I went around to the classrooms and I asked the kids, who thinks they can jump rope for an hour? Every hand went up, and I got laughing. I'm like, really? You're going to jump rope?
Well, tell them I
yourself
can.
for 1 hour. They're like, yeah, easy. Like, we'll find that out in a couple weeks.
I can do it now.
It would have lasted 5 minutes.
And to Ms. Norwood, congratulations on the great things that's going over in the high school and the middle school. The African American Male Men of Promise sounds like an excellent program. I've always been a strong advocate for more programming in the middle school, so seeing that come to fruition, as well as the track team, is something that I welcome, and thank you for really putting the effort into making sure that the middle school students have other activities other than going to school and feeling a part of the district. I think it's going to help bridge that gap between middle and high school and make that transition a little easier. So again, thank you for the work that you're doing in both schools, but I'm really particularly interested in the middle school, so thank you.
Anyone else? I just wanted to offer congratulations to everyone, the students, the parents, the volunteers, the staff, the administration, on putting together the Black History Month program. I didn't see quite all of it, but I attended most of it. It was wonderful. So congratulations to everybody that had a hand in putting all that together. Congratulations to our DECA students. Sounds like a wonderful program. Congratulations to, and I can't remember the name, but our National Merit student? Spencer?
Spencer Keesley Waters.
That's quite an accomplishment. Congratulations to him. I know I'm missing something. Oh, one other thing, a small item I wanted to mention. I don't know that it's ever been brought to the attention of the rest of the board or to the public. We did receive a recognition from the state, and this probably goes to Mr. Dennis as our business manager. Our buses are 100% in compliance for safety. We received a certificate from the state of Michigan, I think from the MDE, recognizing that our buses are 100% in compliance, which means they were inspected and they're safe. So congratulations on that. I think I'm missing something, but I'll leave it at that. Oh, and congratulations to Detective Walker, and good luck, and thank you to Officer Hill. You've got big shoes to fill, but from the words that you spoke tonight, I've got a feeling that you're up to the task. Anyone else? Hearing none. We're adjourned.